And Sheriff, we do have a quorum, so, and it is, my clock says 11:01 if you wanted to get started.
Okay, I was just making sure we had everybody that's going to be here on board. So we'll start the meeting of the LEPC Thursday, July 15th at 11:01 a.m. We'll call to order and a roll call. Dorothy, you got that?
Michael Bebo, I do not see him logged on. Sheriff Brennan,
Here.
Kevin Alioki,
Here.
Bill Hagstrom,
Here.
Patty, is it Senek from the hospital? I don't see her logged on. Doug Jennings from the tribe. I don't see him. Robin Ruckert from Breddings. Nope. Liz Zott.
Here.
And Clark Schroeder.
Here.
Thank you. Zach.
In addition, we have Chairman Poofall in the county boardroom.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dorothy. Number 20 agenda is the approval of the agenda. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Clark.
So motion to approve by Clark.
Second.
Who is the second?
I'll second. Liz.
Second by Liz. All those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, same. Motion is carried. Item number 3, public comment. You have 3 minutes per person, hazardous material related only. Anybody from the general public or any public comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 4. Approval of the September 22nd, 2020 LEPC meeting minutes. Everybody's had a chance to review those. If not, you can look it over real quick. It's on your packet.
Move to approve the minutes as written.
Motion by Clark to approve,
Bill Hagstrom, second.
second by Bill Hagstrom. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Committee.
Item number 5 is the 2020 off-site plans and the 2020 compliance issues concerning Walmart and CenturyLink.
Okay, as you noticed on the meeting minutes, I just wanted to give a brief update on that. We have 4 off-site plans, if you recall, and last year we had some difficulty, or I had some difficulty in getting compliance from Walmart and CenturyLink in updating their plans. Had several notices, but they did get, Walmart and CenturyLink did get their plans in just in the nick of time. They had till September 30th, which was the absolute deadline for the federal fiscal year and this grant, and they did both get them in by September 29th. So this year, I'm trying to focus on giving them all a little bit more time, or giving myself a little bit more time, and having the opportunity to get more notices out. So next week, I will be sending out all their plans to them, giving them a couple weeks, the 4 facilities, a couple weeks to update. And then if I run into some compliance issues, I'll have a little bit more time to deal with those issues, so I'm not under quite a crunch. Does anybody have any suggestions other than that I may need to implement? Okay. Otherwise, I just want. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying I think you're good with that plan.
Okay, and then after that, you may receive an email just for review of those plans for anyone that's interested in that information, but that is the plan of action for next week. So that's all I had on that topic.
Thank you, Dorothy. Number 6, it's the LEPC administrative requirements. Required for election of the LEPC officers, a chair and vice chair as the first item under number 6. So I'll entertain a motion to nominate a chair for the LEPC committee.
I nominate the sheriff to be the chair.
I'll second it.
Clark nominates the sheriff, seconded by Liz. Do we have any other nominations? Hearing none. All those in favor of having the sheriff do it again, thank you very much. Signify by saying aye.
Welcome.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you much. Okay, now we need the vice chair. Nominations for vice chair.
Oh, okay.
I'd nominate
Who would you
Kevin
nominate?
Elliott.
I'll second that nomination.
He's shaking his head.
The only reason
Comes
I'm shaking
around.
my head, well, the only reason why, guys, is I'll tell you right now, I got 21 months left to go, so I won't even fill out the term. So that's the only stipulation I got, is that I'm done May 12th of 23.
I'm going before you, Kevin, so you should be okay.
Nice. All right, whatever. I was trying to get out that way.
No, it's not going to work. Do we have any other nominations for vice chair? Hearing none. All those in favor of Kevin as the vice chair for the LEPC, by saying aye.
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 Unanimous. Motion carries. Thank you, Kevin. We need appointment of positions: secretary, emergency coordinator, and coordinator of information. And I would like to nominate Dorothy Tank for that position.
I'll second
I'll
it.
second that. Oh, she did. Never mind.
Seconded by Liz and Bill. Do we have any other nominations for that position? Hearing none. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. 6C, it's the annual review and approval of the LEPC bylaws. And that's in the packet that you had there. Dorothy, do you have anything that you need to explain on that or go over?
The only thing I would comment on is based on last year's meeting, I did add the information about the offsite plans. So the local emergency planning committee authorizes emergency management director to review and approve the offsite plans as they are submitted. The offsite plans can be ratified by the LEPC at a later date. That was brought up at last year's meeting, so that information was added. That's the only item that changed.
Okay, thank you. And for the record, Dorothy, I think you might want to add Patty has joined our group here now, so
Yes.
you can add her to that.
Yes.
Thank you. Hi, Patty. Any comments, any discussion on the annual review or approval of the LEPC bylaws? Any discussion needed? Okay, item D, designate the
Wait a
compliance
minute,
inspector.
I'm sorry, we need to back up and do a motion to approve the bylaws. Even if there isn't any change, we need to motion to approve.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the annual review and approval of the LEPC bylaws.
Motion to approve.
Motion by
Second,
Bill,
Elliott.
second by
Alioki.
second by Kevin. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same. Motion carried. Now on to D. Designated compliance inspector. And Dorothy, can you explain what that compliance inspector actually duties are?
And every county has to identify as part of the LEPC membership list, if there were issues with a facility, someone to go into that facility and do the inspection. At this point, Ashland County has never had an inspector. We've always designated the state as that inspector. I am not aware of anyone that has completed that training to be identified as an inspector. Kevin, are you aware of anything different than that? So it's a requirement that we at least identify on the LEPC membership list, that the LEPC identifies the inspector. If that's the state, we have to identify that and go from there. So what I would need is a motion that we designate the state as an LEPC inspector if needed, and that's what's listed on the membership list right now.
So moved by Clark.
Okay, Clark is making
Clark,
that motion.
second by- Have a second?
I'll second. This is Liz.
Okay, thank you.
Second by Liz. Thank you, Liz. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Name for opposed. Motion carried. Update of the LEPC membership list. If you can just go over that list and make sure everything is correct on your information. If there's any updates or anything to be needed, let Dorothy know now. We can make those changes. Have we reached out, Dorothy, to anybody from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources to try and fill that the vacant position that Mackenzie had?
I have on several occasions, and I've never heard back. So I really am at a loss for if we need that position or not, since I can't, I mean, I think it would be valuable because a lot of times they're the ones that go out, they have responsibilities. If there is a spill, they are called as far as to go out and do what the DNR needs to do on reporting that. I just have not had success in having that person identified. I, again, after this meeting, can reach out and see once if someone, because I think now maybe the city of Ashland office has more the spill coordinator. Kevin, are you aware of that? Is that Chris? Sorry.
It rings a bell for some reason.
And I don't know if that agency has the spill remediation team from the DNR, if they now will identify someone. I can continue to reach out.
I'll try a couple of people myself too, Dorothy, to try and do that. Bill, do you want to update your address? When are you going to be moving to your new location?
It'll be a couple months yet. And actually, to be honest with you, I don't even know what the new address is yet.
Okay. We'll make that change when the time comes. We still know where to get a hold of you now.
Yeah.
Okay, so the update in the LEPC membership list is okay. We don't need to have a motion for that, do we, Dorothy?
No, I think this part, we just needed to make sure that all the contact information is correct for everyone that's at least attending the meeting.
Thank you. And the publication and annual public notice.
Okay, just to refresh. Yeah, every year or every year, a county has to do an annual notice for the advising the public of the hazardous materials, and that they have the opportunity to come into the Office of Emergency Management and review what we have on file. Because Ashland County and Bayfield County share the same paper, the Ashland Daily Press for this notice, we alternate years. This year, Bayfield County did that. So all the information was put out for that. I just wanted to inform the LEPC that we were covered on this for the requirement. So I'm working with Megan on that, who is the new Emergency Management Director for Bayfield County. So that's all, I just updating that.
Good, thank you. Agenda item number 7, approve the Ashland County Countywide Hazardous Materials Strategic Plan. I noticed that Dorothy's had some changes or additions put in red on here, basically talking about the CNN Railroad and how it's not existent in Ashland County for the most part due to that storm flood that we had in 16. So everybody's had a chance to review that strategic plan, or do you need some time to look it over? Let me know here.
There also is on page, and I'm trying to find that now, on page 17 of that plan, if you happen to have in front of you, the updates include there as far as the LEPC membership list, the Ashland Hazmat team list that I acquire from Kevin, an update on the equipment purchases so that we keep a running tally of what's been purchased through the years, the additional equipment needs identified by the hazmat team, the current facilities as far as the tier 2 facilities, that list has been updated, and the most recent exercise that was obtained. Those have all been changes that have been made to the plan in addition to what the sheriff has identified. So this is a requirement, an update and annual review of the plan is required as we go into the next item, but for right now, just to let you know that this is a requirement for when we apply for the computer hazmat grant. So that's all I wanted to comment on.
Any discussion on the Countywide Hazardous Materials Strategic Plan? Hearing crickets, I'll entertain a motion to accept that plan as written.
Bill Hagstrom, all motion.
Motion to accept by Bill.
Second by Clark.
Seconded by Clark. All those in favor, signify saying aye.
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 Opposed, same. Motion is carried. Agenda item number 8, so 2021 EPCRA Computer Hazmat Response Equipment Grant Application. And this year, it's a little different, Dorothy.
Right. Whoops, I grabbed the wrong grant application. So just a refresher, this is a grant that has two components that are separate from one another. One part is the computer component, which is that the county can apply for. And this year, the county is requesting to purchase 2 items. One, a server which is for, and includes the coverage here at the Sheriff's Department because the Emergency Management Office is here at the Sheriff's Department. And strangely enough, one of the requirements of the grant, they're trying to phase this out, but it's still part of the grant, is only emergency management can apply for a server, and it's for emergency management services. So in order for emergency management to be eligible for this, since all of our services, our networking here at the Sheriff's Department is no longer identified by department, like by emergency management, it would be for the use at the Sheriff's Department because emergency management is part of the Sheriff's Department. So one item is for a server. The second item is for a LEPC, which will go into our Emergency Operations Center. And both of those together would total our one-time option of purchasing for $6,000. And so that is what I'm requesting approval on.
And the rest of that grant would go towards,
The hazmat portion of the equipment that Kevin would be requesting, or the money would go toward the hazmat equipment.
okay, do we need any discussion on that? Anybody? Concerns or questions about that? Okay, so if I can get a motion to accept that computer hazmat response equipment grant application, so we can move forward on that as written.
Bill Hagstrom on motion.
Motion by Bill. I believe Liz seconded it. I
Yeah.
saw her lips move, but I didn't.
Once I unmute myself, sorry.
Seconded by Liz.
I had my head down, so I didn't see that.
Okay, all those in favor of the grant application, if by saying aye. Aye,
Aye.
good. Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 9, it's a review
Before
of the
we go-
hazard material.
I'm
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Before we go any further, Kevin, do you want to talk about the hazmat portion? What happened and why you needed to purchase the communication equipment?
Yeah, just a quick, the radio that we got that pulls our hazmat trailer, which is Brush 9, it's a designated pickup truck for that trailer. The radio in it's over 13 years old, so it's non-compliant right now. So in February, we actually purchased it in February ahead of the game plan because there was such a long wait on radios. We got in before just at the right time. So we actually have the radio now, it's in play, it's actually was installed, and the old one was thrown out because it was outdated, it wasn't compliant. So that's what we went for this year.
Thank you. Any other discussion, Dorothy?
No, I just wanted Kevin to have the opportunity to explain the hazmat portion.
Thank you, Kevin. And now number 9, review of the hazardous material tabletop exercise to be held on July 7th, and the functional exercise plan for training year 2022.
So Kevin and the sheriff had participated in an exercise, a tabletop exercise that was conducted again, as the sheriff indicated, on July 7th. We did a simulation of a transportation exercise, or transportation, incident that occurred in the Clam Lake area. So we wanted to kind of more in the rural area, so that we're looking at a rather unique situation. It was a diesel tanker and a logging truck, which the incident kind of also then became involved with the dam that was also involved, or located on State Highway 77 in Clam Lake. There was a complete blockage of State Highway 77, which then required a detour, and there were other things. So I'm not sure what Kevin's position on this exercise might have been, but I think it will be bringing out, from my perspective, will be bringing out some interesting things for us to test on a functional side. I thought the discussions were good and somewhat enlightening. Was a bit disappointed. The town of Gordon, for instance, owns the dam, does not have any plans, or does not understand really very well what their role in maintaining the dam. And with the diesel tanker impacting the dam and in the water, there was going to be a number of environmental issues that are going to arise out of this incident. So, Kevin, do you have any comments that you want to add?
I wasn't a fan. I'll be honest with you. I thought it was well laid out, but the questions that were asked by emergency management weren't pertinent in my mind. just my take on it. So some individuals didn't know their roles and responsibilities, and I think that wasn't laid out ahead of time. So it actually, the flow of the whole thing kind of didn't go too good. You could see in my mind, he was scrambling a little bit, trying to get it back on track where it wasn't really on track in the first place, just because no one knew their roles and responsibilities off the top. That's just my take on it. Sheriff, you got something different?
No, I think that's pretty accurate. You know, and like I stated at the meeting, law enforcement is not the most proficient in the ICS as fire and EMS. It's our fault. We don't think about doing it there or entering in that system. And it's something that we need to work on more on our part. I think we kind of do it, but we don't formally come out and say it or do it. So kudos to our firefighter and EMS partners that do that. They do a really good job on it. So it's something that we can learn from on the law enforcement end. But yeah, I think there's a couple of times that he was kind of scrambling for what was happening, and how it was flowing.
And I would agree with that also. And in a sense, I was aware that the exercise was going to have a hazmat component, though there were going to be other issues that were going to probably take more of a precedent. For that reason, I think I might have stated that. But from my perspective, when I was talking with before the exercise, I have to say I was a little concerned when State Patrol did not know that they would have a role if an accident like this happened. They did not feel that they would have a role in this, that this would be all on the county. I know, Mick, you and I had a conversation on this that kind of surprised me. It wasn't until I had individual discussions with State Patrol and some with the DNR outside of the dam. The dam people understood that they had a significant role, but what that role was going to be for the other DNR people, they were not really sure. So I don't know if that's something that, but yet because it was in the water, a water exposure, that would have fallen to remediation from their perspective. So I'm also a little confused at the coordination, how to coordinate this, if this were to really, or something similar were to really happen. And that's what I'm kind of walking away from and looking at on the functional side. So Kevin, I'm really open for when we look at the functional side, if there's something you would like or think that should be tested.
I think the whole idea of even that day of that game plan is that a tabletop is designed to fail, and it was failed right from the start. And that was just my take on it. When we get into the functional, that's where we don't kill people, but in the tabletop you do. And I think we just got to take it, probably not on this platform to talk about that, but we probably should sit down in the next month or two and actually talk about it. And then when it gets time for the functional, let some of the individual parties know what their roles are prior to the functional, just so they don't get sideswiped, if you want to call it, in case something does come up, or they're going to have a representative that's involved that knows what to do. Because some of the people that were there, I think were just there and they didn't know even what their jobs entailed.
And even though that's true, you know, that could probably happen in real life.
Sure, but again, you don't want agencies to look bad during a functional or a tabletop. And I think at some point during that functional, I mean, that tabletop, there was some agencies that did look bad. And I had one individual who was sitting next to you wanted to know why he was even there.
Interesting. Okay.
Just a thought.
Well, I think like Kevin said, the tabletop exercises are the ones where people get hurt or killed, and that functional ones when you don't want that to happen. So you learn from this, and you proof from it. I think the State Patrol now knows that they're going to have a larger role on something on a state highway like that, with the TRO and with the help with traffic control and everything else they're going to have out there. So I think tabletops are an excellent way of getting people to start thinking outside the box and start thinking about what they are supposed to do. And you know, I know I like unified command. I know I like that, but so
that's
any other discussion on that?
no.
No other discussion on that, Kevin or Dorothy?
Nope.
I'm good.
Okay. Is there any other discussion that we need to have to go in front of this committee? Any other issues, any other comments? I was pushing to hope to keep this under an hour. We're at 31 minutes, so I think we're doing great.
Could I just share that, we know that Erica Kurtz had stepped out of her position here at Memorial Medical Center. I'm filling in. We are posting a part-time position for the EMS or the Emergency Preparedness Coordinator. That'll be going up this week or next week, and we hope to have somebody in that position soon.
Okay.
So thank you.
Good. Thank you. I know Erica did a very good job
Good job.
where she was doing it, so it's going to be tough to fill it, but I'm sure you
Yeah,
guys will be fine.
I completely understand that.
Any other comments, any other concerns? Chairman Pufall, do you have anything that you need to add or?
I don't have anything, any questions or anything to add? No.
All right, thanks for attending. Hearing no other comments or any concerns, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Bill,
Second, Alioki.
second by Kevin. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all very much for attending, taking your time out here. We appreciate it. If there's any other updates or anything we need, Dorothy will contact you by email. Phil, once you get to your new position at the new police station, you can maybe forward that address over to Dorothy. She'll make the changes on our listing here.
All right.
And
Thank you.
Kevin, I got you. You got 20. You got Kevin. You got 21 months. I got 18. So you'll be the chair for the last few months.
I'm calling in sick.
Okay. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Be safe out there.
Thank you.
Bye now.